Okay, this is Interactive Learning Video Assignment, Part 2, with question 11 from homework number 3. Now, the first part of this problem, it gives us all these values, and it wants us to find on what open interval does the inequality of absolute value of f of x minus L is less than epsilon hold. So first, let's look at what all these values, which are confusing at first, would mean. So obviously f of x would be your function here. L equaling 26 would be your limit. So as limit of something approaching something, actually something being x first something, the second something being c, would equal up to, of f of x would equal 26. Now the c that your x approaches is equal to 6, and there they give that to you. And epsilon is the maximum value that the function minus the limit is able to equal when proving the limit using delta and epsilon values. So next we're going to go ahead and look at the rules that we know what they are. So we know that the value minus the value that x value minus the c that it approaches, the absolute value of that must be greater than 0 and less than delta. And as I already said, absolute value of f of x minus L is less than epsilon. Now we can take away the absolute value and simplify that by simply putting a negative on the other side and making it negative epsilon is less than f of x minus L is less than epsilon. So here's where we plug in our values and begin to simplify with actual numbers. So since epsilon is 1, we have negative 1 is less than x squared minus 10, which is the function, and then you have minus 26, since it's minus L, is less than 1. Which is positive epsilon. To simplify further, we're going to go ahead and subtract the negative 26 from the 10 to get negative 36. To simplify further, we're going to add 36 to each side, so you get 35 is less than x squared is less than 37. So that's basically going to be your bounds. It asks for the open interval on what x could be. So you take the square root finally to simplify the last step. You get x has to be between the open interval of root 35 and root 37. And the second part of the problem is asking what is the largest value of delta that must be greater than 0 for all x that satisfies 0 is less than x minus c, absolute value of x minus c, which is less than delta, that the inequality holds. So since it wants the largest value, you're going to take the largest part of the open interval, which is root 37, and you're going to apply it to the previously mentioned function. Except since it's the max, it's going to be the positive version of the absolute value, since instead of the potential negative, because the potential negative, of course, obviously would be less than the potential positive. And that's just it. You plug in your values and you get root 37 minus 6, and since it gives the answer with an exact answer with the radicals, you have your answer. So delta is equal to root 37 minus 6.